Optic blast.
X-Men versus Street Fighter!
Man, oh man, what is there to say about X-Men versus Street Fighter? It is one of my all-time favorite fighting games out there. Back then, this was a huge thing. Like, we didn't think that this we back in the day there was, you know, some crossovers here and there and everything, but man, this one, now this was the crossover of the decade. It was definitely something we never thought would happen and everything. You have X-Men going up against Street Fighter characters. Like, this was probably one of those where, like, I don't know, I pretty much had action figures of X-Men characters and Street Fighter characters as well. And sometimes, you know, I always like to have them duke it out, or, you know, join together to defeat Magneto or M. Bison and stuff. And then I remember going to my local diner where, you know, I eat my pancakes every Saturday or Sunday with my dad. And there was arcade cabinet of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And just looking at it, I was like, wow. Like, I was just shocked as a kid. Like, my dream came true. It was crazy. Played it, man, I loved it. I freaking loved this game. And this is pretty much how, well, not technically how the whole how the whole Marvel vs. Capcom thing happened. That pretty much started with X-Men Children of the Atom, when pretty much was developed by Capcom and everything like that. So it was crazy because, like, I've always, like, since, you know, Capcom is making, you know, these Marvel games and everything like that, I wonder, you know, eventually they'll have going, like, you know, them teaming up with, I don't know, freaking Mega Man or, you know, any Street Fighter characters. And, you know, we got our glimpse of that with this game. Like, so far it's just X-Men and just Street Fighter, but later on it expands to both universes with Marvel and Capcom and everything. And back in my old channel, Mysteries Penals 24, I think this was like the second fighting game playthrough that I've done. Probably, the second one. No. Like, in terms of Let's Play, this was definitely the second one, because before I just did like walkthroughs of other fighting games and everything like that. But when I began doing Let's Plays, this was definitely the second game that I've done. I pretty much did a whole thing called the Marvel vs. Capcom Marathon, where I pretty much just did, you know, all the Marvel vs. Capcom games and everything like that. And of course, you know, I started out with X-Men vs. Street Fighter and everything. And ever since then, you know, I just got a lot of praise and everything like that. But sadly, again, like I mentioned all the time whenever I mentioned Mysteries Penals 24, Mysteries Penals 24 channel is no longer, because I pretty much deleted it, which it was a mistake, but oh well, what can you do? And I pretty much redid the Marvel vs. Capcom Marathon on the collab channel that I'm a part of, Meister Gaming and stuff. At first I was going to do it for this channel, but I'm like, nah, I'll probably save it for another time. And I was all like, you know what? I'm celebrating my 10 years. Let's go ahead and do it now and everything. So yeah. So for this playthrough, we're going to be playing as Ryu and Cyclops. These pretty much are the characters that I used in this game and everything. And sometimes I would like to also go Gambit or Wolverine and stuff, but man, Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. That's my favorite X-Men character and stuff. A lot of people like, you know, Gambit or freaking Wolverine. Wolverine's a badass, don't get me wrong, but man, there's not a lot of love for Cyclops, and I love Cyclops. Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men and everything. Sure, he's an asshole, but he's still cool. He's still a cool character and everything like that. So it was crazy, you know, seeing that, you know, that pretty much that, you know, the opening intro, and then closing it with Ryu and Cyclops shaking hands and everything. It's that is just freaking crazy, dude. Two of my favorite fictional characters, you know, teaming up and everything like that. That is something like I would have never thought back then would ever happen. That's literally like the same thing with like a lot of the characters that Smash Brothers has now. Who would ever think, you know, we would have Simon Belmont going up against Mario? You know what I mean? You know, if I were to tell myself something like that, my younger self would thought I was crazy and stuff like that. So, but I probably would believe it because, you know, I back then I did see my fair share of crazy crossovers that happened and stuff. We got X-Men vs. Street Fighter, eventually became Mars Capcom. We got freaking Jean-Claude Van Damme teaming up with Dennis Rodman, freaking Whoopi Goldberg with a dinosaur too. So, you know, it was a lot of crazy crossovers back in the 90s and stuff, and this is definitely one of them. So yeah. Oh man, dude. But yeah. So pretty much, maybe you guys are wondering if I'm gonna be doing the whole Marvel vs. Capcom marathon. Now that I'm playing X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And to answer you guys' question, yeah, I'll definitely do it because it was definitely a part of, you know, my 10 years. You know, this is pretty much the first marathon playthrough that I pretty much did was, you know, tackle all the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Unfortunately, though, I might have to... There is one problem, though, with that. And I also had problem back in my old channel and back with Meister Gaming is the whole thing with freaking Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oh my gosh, dude. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of those rare things that, you know, hasn't been fully emulated, and it's, you know, it's hard to come across by, you know, with trying to find like a copy either on Xbox, the original Xbox, or PlayStation 2. It's very rare and it's very expensive. And you would think, you know, now that we're in 2021, it would be emulated by then, but no, it isn't and stuff. And I know Ghostman, you're watching this. I just don't want to risk my computer because he did show me like a little like thing to download and stuff, but I don't want to risk it and everything. And of course, there was the multiplayer, the PS3 or, you know, Xbox 360 versions of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But sadly, that was delisted and everything. So yeah, it sucks. It's really hard to come. This is why I want Capcom and Marvel or Disney pretty much to talk it out. Like, hey, we want Marvel vs. Capcom 2 back. You know, bring it into the PS5 or Xbox Series X or the Nintendo Switch. I would really love Marvel vs. Capcom on the go. Bring it to the modern console. Bring it to the next gen consoles because we want that. A lot of us want Marvel vs. Capcom 2 back. If not just Marvel 2, please give us a whole like collection of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I would freaking love that, dude. I really do, dude. It would be amazing if it happened. I would be like, hell yeah. I could finally do a playthrough of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I did do it for Mystery Films 24, but I did the whole facing my camera to the screen, to the TV screen pretty much, and I did not like that, so I pretty much like, I was like, whatever, you know, I uploaded it already, but still, I received praise for it and everything like that, so yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here, guys. I'll see you guys on the next part of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. This has been Mr. X, saying good night, morning, good day. I'll see you guys on the next one.